Welcome to Practice English Slowly.
Chapter 1. A Camera and a Quiet Dream. Samir lived in a small town near the sea. It was not a famous place. Tourists did not come there often, but Samir loved it. He loved the narrow streets, the old houses, and the sound of waves in the early morning. Samir was a quiet young man. He did not talk much. When people spoke to him, he usually smiled and nodded. Inside, he had many thoughts, but he did not know how to share them. Every morning, Samir walked through the town with his camera. It was not new. The black paint was scratched, and the strap was old and soft. The camera was a gift from his uncle many years ago. At first, Samir did not know how to use it, but slowly he learned, and slowly the camera became his best friend. When Samir looked through the lens, the world felt different, brighter, clearer, safer. He liked to take photos of simple things: a cat sleeping on a warm stone, a fisherman fixing his net, children running and laughing near the market. Samir did not take photos of people who posed. He liked real moments, quiet moments. But Samir never showed his photos to anyone, not to his family, not to his friends, not even online. He thought, "My photos are not good enough." He thought, "People will laugh." So he kept them to himself. In the afternoons, Samir worked in a small shop near the bus station. He sold postcards, newspapers, and drinks. The job was simple. The days were long. Sometimes Samir watched people come and go, travelers with big bags, families with tired faces. Everyone seemed to be going somewhere. Samir stayed. In the evenings, he sat in his room and looked at his photos on his old laptop. He deleted many of them. Too dark, too strange, too empty. But sometimes he stopped. Sometimes he looked at one photo for a long time, and he smiled. One evening, his younger sister, Lena, came into his room. "What are you doing?" she asked. Samir quickly closed the laptop. "Nothing," he said. Lena did not believe him. She sat on the bed and crossed her arms. "You always say that," she said. "You take photos every day. Why do you hide them?" Samir looked at the floor. "I'm not ready," he said quietly. "Ready for what?" Lena asked. Samir did not answer. That night, Samir could not sleep. He thought about Lena's question. He thought about his photos. He thought about his quiet dream, a dream he never said out loud. He wanted to be seen, not loudly, not proudly, just honestly. The next morning, Samir picked up his camera again, but this time something felt different. The air felt lighter. His hands felt steadier, and deep inside, a small voice whispered, "Maybe one day you will show the world how you see it." Chapter 2. The Moment He Almost Said Yes. The next few days passed quietly, but Samir felt restless inside. He still walked through the town with his camera, still took photos, but his thoughts were louder than usual. Lena's words stayed in his mind. "Why do you hide them?" One afternoon, after work, Samir stopped near the town square. A small crowd had gathered there. Someone had put up colorful posters on a wooden board. Samir was curious, so he walked closer. The poster said, "Local Photo Exhibition, Share your view of our town." Samir's heart beat faster. Under the title, there were details. Anyone could join. No fee, no rules, just photos of the town and its people. The exhibition would be in 2 weeks in the old cultural center near the sea. 2 weeks. Samir stepped back. "This is not for me," he whispered. But he did not leave. He read the poster again and again. A man stood next to him. He was older, with gray hair and kind eyes. He noticed Samir's camera. "Nice camera," the man said. "Do you take photos often?" Samir froze for a second, then nodded. "Yes, sometimes," he said. The man smiled. "You should join," he said, pointing at the poster. "It's a good chance." Samir shook his head quickly. "No, no, my photos are just for me." The man did not laugh. He did not argue. He only said, "Sometimes that's how it starts." Then he walked away. Samir went home early that day. He did not turn on the lights in his room. He sat on the bed and held his camera in his hands. He opened his laptop and looked at his photos again. This time, he did not delete anything. He saw the fisherman at sunrise, the old woman selling bread, the empty street after rain. They were simple, but they were honest. Later that evening, Lena knocked on his door. "You look strange," she said. "What happened?" Samir hesitated. Then he told her about the exhibition. Lena's eyes lit up. "That's perfect," she said. "You must do it." Samir laughed nervously. "No, no, I was just looking." "Samir," she said softly, "you always look. When will you try?" He did not answer. That night, Samir dreamed of standing in the cultural center. His photos were on the walls. People walked past them. Some stopped, some smiled, some said nothing, but no one laughed. He woke up early, before the sun. He sat at his desk and wrote the exhibition date on a small piece of paper. He placed it next to his camera. "I'm not saying yes," he told himself. "I'm just not saying no yet." Over the next days, Samir took photos with more care. He waited for the right light. He listened to the sounds of the town. He felt more present, more awake. But fear was still there. Every time he thought about sending his photos, his hands shook. Still, he kept taking pictures. And deep inside, the quiet dream grew a little louder. Chapter 3. A Small Step Forward. The week before the exhibition passed faster than Samir expected. Every day, the paper with the date lay next to his camera. He looked at it often, but he did not touch it. Samir still had not sent his photos. One afternoon, after closing the shop, Samir walked toward the sea. The sky was cloudy and the wind was strong. He liked days like this. They felt honest. He took photos of the waves crashing against the rocks, of a lonely bench, of a man standing with his back to the water. As he lowered his camera, someone spoke behind him. "You really see things," a voice said. Samir turned around. It was the same gray-haired man from the town square. He was holding a small camera of his own. "I didn't mean to scare you," the man said with a smile. "I've seen you around." Samir felt nervous, but he nodded. "I just take pictures," he said. "They're good pictures," the man replied. "I've noticed." Samir looked down. "I'm not a real photographer," he said. The land laughed softly. "Neither am I," he said. "I'm just someone who likes to look." They walked together for a few minutes. The man told Samir his name was Farid. He used to work as a teacher, but now spent his days walking and taking photos. "Are you joining the exhibition?" Farid asked. Samir took a deep breath. "I don't know," he said. "I'm scared." Farid nodded. "That means it matters," he said. Those words stayed with Samir. That evening, Samir sat at his desk again. His hands shook as he opened his email. He selected 3 photos, only 3. His finger hovered over the send button. He closed the laptop. Then he opened it again. He pressed send. The sound was small, but to Samir it felt loud. After that, he felt empty and light and afraid, all at the same time. The next day, doubt returned. Maybe they're bad. Maybe they won't answer. Maybe they'll laugh. But something had changed. Samir had crossed a line. Even if nothing happened, he knew he had tried. 2 days later, an email arrived. "Thank you for your submission. We are happy to include your photos in the exhibition." Samir read the message 3 times. He smiled. Then he laughed. Then he sat down because his legs felt weak. That evening, he told Lena. "I knew it," she shouted, hugging him. "I told you." Samir smiled, but fear was still there. Being accepted was one thing. Being seen was another. The exhibition was only a few days away, and Samir knew the hardest part was still ahead. Chapter 4. Standing in the Light. The day of the exhibition arrived quietly. There were no drums, no loud voices, no signs in the sky. It was just another morning. But for Samir, everything felt different. He woke up early and lay in bed, staring at the ceiling. His heart beat faster than usual. His hands felt cold. "Maybe I don't have to go," he thought. "They already accepted my photos. That's enough." But deep inside, he knew it was not enough. After breakfast, Samir walked toward the cultural center. The building stood near the sea, old and pale, with large windows that caught the light. He stopped outside for a moment and took a deep breath. "Just walk in," he told himself. Inside, the room was bright and quiet. White walls, soft music, photos hung neatly in simple frames. People walked slowly, talking in low voices. Samir stayed near the door. He saw his photos on the wall. 3 small frames, his name written below them. For a moment, he could not move. A couple stopped in front of his photos. The woman pointed at one, the fisherman at sunrise. "I like this one," she said. "It feels calm." The man nodded. "Yes," he said, "it feels real." Samir felt his face grow warm. He wanted to disappear. He also wanted to smile. Someone touched his arm. It was Farid. "You came," Farid said. Samir nodded. "I almost didn't," he admitted. Farid smiled. "But you did." They walked through the room together. Farid introduced Samir to a few people. Some asked questions, some only smiled. No one laughed, no one looked away. Samir realized something important. People were not judging him. They were looking at his work. At one point, Lena arrived with a big smile on her face. "There you are," she said. "I've been looking for you." She stood proudly next to his photos, telling everyone, "My brother took these." Samir felt embarrassed and proud. As the afternoon passed, the fear inside him slowly became quieter. He began to stand straighter. He began to speak more. When the room started to empty, Samir stood alone in front of his photos one last time. They were still the same photos, but he was not the same person. He had shown his way of seeing the world, and the world had listened. As he left the building, the sun was setting. The sky was painted with soft orange and pink colors. Samir lifted his camera and took a photo. Not for an exhibition, not for anyone else, just for himself. And for the first time, he did not hide the smile on his face.
Chapter 5. Looking Forward. The exhibition ended, but something inside Samir stayed open. The next morning felt different. The town looked the same streets, the same shops, the same sea, but Samir felt lighter as he walked. His camera hung on his shoulder, moving gently with every step. People smiled at him more than usual. Or maybe he just noticed it more. At the shop, a woman stopped in front of the postcards and looked at him closely. "Excuse me," she said, "are you the photographer from the exhibition?" Samir froze for a second. Then he nodded. "Yes," he said. His voice was calm. "I loved your photos," she said. "They made me feel something." "Thank you," Samir replied. After she left, Samir stood still for a moment. His heart beat fast, but not with fear, with excitement. In the days that followed, small things began to happen. A message from someone who wanted to buy a photo, a kind comment online, a short email asking if he would join another local event. Samir did not say yes to everything, but he did not say no right away anymore. In the evenings, he still sat in his room and looked at his photos, but now he did not delete so many. He learned to accept mistakes, shadows, strange angles. They were part of his way of seeing.
One night, Lena sat next to him and asked, "What's next?" Samir thought for a moment. "I don't know," he said honestly, "but I want to keep going." That was enough. One early morning, Samir walked to the sea again. The sky was soft and pale, the air was quiet. He lifted his camera and took a photo of the horizon. He thought about the person he used to be, quiet, hiding, afraid to be seen. And he thought about who he was becoming. Not loud, not perfect, but confident enough to step forward. Samir knew there would still be doubts. Fear did not disappear forever. But now he understood something important. Confidence was not about being brave all the time. It was about taking small steps, even when your hands shake. As the sun rose higher, Samir lowered his camera and smiled. The road ahead was open, and for the first time, he was ready to walk it.